talking about Buy the Elements, my prototype for a resource-focused tower defense system. My initial goal with the Buy the Elements system was to give players more options when placing down structures and consequently requiring the player to plan out their choices. As I was implementing this system, it evolved to be much more resource-focused, and the intent of the prototype adjusted along with it. The goal of the prototype still revolves around player choice, but explores a new way of how the player gains and uses resources. When the player presses right-click, they enter Build Mode. While in Build Mode, the player can move their cursor around the map and select a location along the higher ground to start building a structure, which they do so by pressing left-click. This opens up the structure building menu, where the player has to then choose if they want to build a generator, a tower, or a painter, given that they have the correct amount of earth, fire, or water resource, respectively, indicated at the bottom of the screen. The player has to also assign an element to the current structure they are building. Painters change the element of the landscape around them to whatever element the structure is over time. Every single time the painter changes a tile successfully, the player loses 5 resource of its respective element. Generators use any tiles within their range that are of the same element as they are, and produce 10 resource of that element at the cost of turning that tile back to normal. Now, I'm sure by now you've noticed the enemies moving along the paths of the map. For the sake of just proving the system, enemies don't do anything when they reach the end of the path. That being said, the only way to properly kill enemies is through the use of towers. Towers can be placed down on any tiles, but will not be able to shoot unless the 4 tiles they are placed on match the element of the tower. When that condition is met, the towers will start shooting enemies in range and deal damage. Different elements do different amounts of damage to enemies of other elements, with each element having a strong and weak opposing element. Every single structure can also be sold for half of the price needed to build one, allowing for players to never feel as if they are restricted by their previous choices. The prototype also offers a global upgrade system, which can be accessed by clicking on any of the resource panels. Generator upgrades require earth, tower upgrades require fire, and painter upgrades require water. These upgrades are all one-time purchases, making the involvement of the game primarily focused around building structures rather than upgrading them.